have various aches, pains, and illnesses that need your healing touch. And pray that you be with us as we remember how it is, Lord, that you don't throw us into the deep end without preparation, but you give us training, teaching, wise guides to lead us and develop us. And so we pray that we will see that in a Rotary service today. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Jan. And Leslie, did you get my text? And if you can hear us, would you care to unmute yourself and lead us in pledge? If that doesn't work, then Marty, are you able to unmute yourself and lead us in pledge?
All right, ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much for that. And Steve, would you care to lead us in song today?
Well, I would, I guess. R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary. R-O-T-A-R-Y is known on land and sea. From north to south, from east to west, our prophet's most who serves the best. R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary.
Thank you.
Now, see, I was going to put a little different touch to it, you know, like little rap. R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary.
You know what? We will remember that for next time, and I'm glad that we're recording.
Oh, dear God.
So with that, do we have any, I don't think we have any guests today. We do have, oh, we do have a guest of a Rotarian. Lucy is not yet a Rotarian with us. Steve, would you like to reintroduce Lucy to us? Steve, y'all are muted.
Yes.
Yes. Would you like to reintroduce Lucy to us?
Yes, let me do that. Dr. Lucy Villarreal is my continued guest today, but she is a potential member for us as she is before the board now. But my Happy Dollar announcement does include her, as last week, thanks to the provost and president of our university, we have now approved a job title for her. Dr. V is now our Assistant Dean of Educator Preparation and Community Partnership Development for our communities. So we are ecstatic that she's with us and that she's going to be serving in this role. And that role is to get out and to develop more vibrant partnerships between the college and our independent school districts and community colleges.
That's a lot for what? That's a lot for $1. That's good value. Thank you, Steve.
I got bang for the buck.
Making a stretch. We love it. Thanks so much. Let's see here. And I think our only other guest is Andy Hagan, and we will get to Andy in just 1 second. We don't have any birthdays coming up this week that I could see. We don't have any wedding anniversaries this week, and we don't have any Rotary anniversaries this week. Kind of a light week for us. Some announcements. So that was one Happy Dollar announcement. Do we have any more Happy Dollar announcements today?
Justin, I've got a Happy Dollar. My wife and I celebrated our 34th anniversary this weekend.
Andy, that's wonderful. I think that's worth more than $1, at least $1.50.
Oh yeah, $1 per year then, right?
Thanks so much for sharing.
Check's in the mail, Justin. Check is in the mail.
And congratulate Elsa for us on
I
that.
will.
That's wonderful news.
Thank you.
Let's see, Susan, did you have something to add?
Yes, can you hear me?
We certainly can,
Oh,
Susan.
wonderful. I just wanted to mention for people that don't know, if you are a walker or a runner, we have added some interactive signage to our trail along the creek out here at Dick Clayburgh Park. And part of it is an art walk, and we have about 17 or 18 prints from local artists that are on signage along the trail, and it credits the name of the print and the artist, and they're really great. And there's also some interactive things. There's some signs about some of the local nature. There's exercise stations as well, so you can add some extra exercise along the way. So it's a nice little change to the trail that's been there for a long time. So if you need a new place to get out and about and get out of your quarantine hole for a little bit, come enjoy the trail.
That's
Thanks.
wonderful news, Susan. Thanks so much for that. I look forward to looking at that. Anybody else have something wonderful to share with us today? Okie dokie. A couple of announcements. We have our upcoming RLI parts 1 and 2 starting next week. More information on that shortly. LoneStarRLI.com for some of those details. And remember, we're looking for 100% board participation on that, if possible. And our COVID meals. Last week, we introduced this to the club where we would like the club to sponsor at least one meal for the Texas Military Department when they're down for the testing. We raised some dollars last week, but it wasn't quite enough for a lunch that we were hoping for. But not to worry. We do have more testing and lunch opportunities coming up this week. And to tell us more about that, our very own Janine Reyes. Oh, Janine, you're muted. There
Okay.
you go.
Hi, guys. We had talked about this last week, and I was very fortunate and very thankful to some Rotarians who came up and on their own independently sponsored a lunch. So Allison Strauss and her law firm, we thank you. And also Reverend Battle for helping us with a breakfast. And Crystal has a number of times raised some funds for us. So when Justin reached out to me with the amount and said he really wanted to do a lunch and we weren't quite there yet, I said, we've had enough other people come up to the plate and no worries. As soon as I spoke to you guys last week, we got another series of 3 more dates. They also took away the Sunday, the Sunday date that had been planned so that the military guys could go home for the holiday weekend. So they will be returning the 13th, 14th, and 15th. And so if Rotary can get enough for a lunch, we will be more than happy to do a Rotary sponsored lunch day. And I just want to really say thank you. I sincerely appreciate everybody for their help because these have been a constant for several months now, and we're able to keep it going thanks to all of you guys. So.
Wonderful, Janine. Thank you so much for that. And just as a reminder, the way you can contribute is through our Square account. And it's the very same way that we pay our dues online. I will go ahead and send another email out this afternoon as a reminder for that. And all the dollars that we raise for the COVID meals will go directly to the COVID meal project. And so more information on that in an email. Thank you, Janine, for that there. And I don't think we have Charles with us here today, but in our foundation minute for the week, just as a reminder, speaking of our club dues, we have our a contribution built into our monthly dues that goes to E-Ray, which is every Rotarian every year. That goes to the annual fund. The annual fund is how we raise the money to do the good works in the world that we do. Those dollars directly come back to us. in the forms of district grants and global grants and all that kind of thing. And so that's the annual fund. And don't forget, we also have our polio eradicator program, and those dollars go directly toward the polio eradication efforts in the world. If you haven't heard the good news, Africa has now been declared polio free. So I believe 3 years a country has to go polio free before the World Health Organization declares that country to be wild polio free. And the region of Africa is now wild polio free. That is wonderful, wonderful news. And our efforts are still continuing in Pakistan and Afghanistan. The fight isn't over, but we are very much closer. And that concludes our Foundation Minute. And with that, I bring you to today's presentation. We have with us to talk to us, we have with us District 5930 RLI Chair, PDG Andy Hagan, to speak with us about Rotary Leadership Institute. Andy, and the first question that I will ask you for some of our newer members is, I know we love acronyms around here. What on earth does PDG mean?
Past district governor or prestige done gone, whichever way you'd like to look at it.
Thank you, Andy. And take it away, sir.
Oh, great. Thank you, Justin. And thank you for the invitation. And I want to welcome everyone here today and our distinguished guest, Lucy. So today we wanted to give you some quick points on RLI, which stands for Rotary Leadership Institute. And it's a way of finding your passion in Rotary. And if you look at it from a RLI philosophy, having leadership skills does not alone assure good Rotary leadership. An effective Rotary leader must also have the Rotary knowledge, perspective of where we've been, where we are now, today, and a vision of what Rotary can be. And I'd like to just point out, as we can on this particular slide as well, recognize our two District 5930 RLI coordinators, one being Justin Jones, your club president, and J. Dean Craig, your past president of the club. So I want to give a shout out to both of you for all that you do and helping. All of us are what we call faculty trained and certified, and the certification must occur every 2 years. And there's a requirement that we make presentations, with so many presentations within a given year, to maintain our credit, our credit and our credentials. And with that, let me give you more of the global perspective. It's a grassroots leadership development program started back in 1992. There's over 400 districts worldwide represented, and RLI is actually provided in 10 different languages as we speak. It's an activity-based learning component to the gathering. It's small group settings so that you get an opportunity to network, and you have that time for fellowship, and there's hands-on training. We use the current adult learning techniques to keep our participants engaged and interactive, so that there's a lot of takeaways at the end of a session. The Rotary faculty, as we said, are trained to facilitate in the RLI curriculum. And you'll see and hear as we get further down in the presentation, that with the onset of the COVID and the threat of the spread, we had to literally do a paradigm shift and literally exercise flexibility and adapt to our current new environment. RLI was originally geared towards face-to-face meetings so that you could have that hands-on opportunity and the opportunity to network. And now we've done a complete conversion into the virtual world using the Zoom platform. And that couldn't have been done without the help of Rotary faculty members and representatives of not only our district, including Justin and Jay Dean and Andy Zamaripas from the Rotary Club of Brownsville Sunrise, Debbie High, who is also wearing multiple hats. She's also our Rotary coordinator for membership, and she serves as the secretary of the Rotary Leadership Institute division, where we're part of several districts that comprise the Lone Star Rotary Leadership Institute Lone Star division. Mostly it's going to be like District 5840 from San Antonio, 5810, which is the Houston greater area, 5890, which is a surrounding area of Houston, as well as the Beaumont, and then of course 5930 being South Texas. Next slide. I did want to mention that Rotary Leadership Institute is not an official program of Rotary, but it is recognized by Rotary International and the board members and what have you. So again, a lot of what you'll hear and see in the upcoming months and years to come is a heavy emphasis on the Rotary International strategic plan, and the planning includes a leadership development program. And so what better way to serve our members is through RLI. And why attend? You're enabled to gain proficiency and mastery in the areas of leadership development, strategic planning, learning of more effective communication techniques and methods, exchange ideas, build and create an effective team, as well as realize the importance and how to better make your club more visible to the public through public imaging and public relations. Next slide, please. It also allows us to gain international perspectives as we talk and speak, and especially with the onset of Zoom, the Zoom virtual platform, we're bringing in representation from various districts that are interested in RLI. Had it not been for the COVID spread, currently our Lone Star division of RLI was represented by San Antonio, which is District 5840, and our district 5930. We relied heavily historically over the last 3 years to muster up the support of District 5840 in San Antonio so that we could receive the 3-part training that's required. It's parts 1, 2, and 3, and we'll talk about that in a moment. And ultimately, if you desire to become a facilitator, you have to be certified and faculty trained. It's a next level. It's not for everyone. We're not saying that you end up, that's not the end road or end result, but for those that are interested in carrying forward the messaging and participating, you become certified. Well, it took us 2.5 years to get certified, with many of the instruction and the hands-on training being outbound outside of our district. During 2018 and 19, we had our first in-district offering at the district assembly for Ellison Crider there in Kingsville. And I'm proud to say that we've evolved since then. And currently with this RLI going virtual, it could not have been done without key faculty members representing our district to enable the division to expand their reach and offer RLI virtually to other districts. It's gained attention and support. And I'd wager to say that our RLI Lone Star division is probably one of the first, if not the first, to convert this program and its instruction into the virtual realm. So congratulations and kudos to everyone involved. And I also want to give a shout out to your club, because with your commitment to get all 100% board certified, or at least board trained in RLI, that's an outstanding accomplishment and a great goal. Because again, you're going to increase member engagement. You'll look to see how to not only convene to collaborate and convene to identify the community needs within your community, the needs assessment, but also how to lead a service project, how to muster that support, and where to bring in the non-governmental entities and the other non-for-profits and leverage yourselves to be able to make a bigger impact, what they'll call a transformational impact that's sustainable over years. And again, that helps to promote Rotary as well. So we talk about the power of collaboration and utilizing the Rotary network. Next slide, please. So in RLI Part 1, what does that entail? You can see some photos here that we took, and you see the smiles. There's different hands-on activities. Each particular part has a specific goal in mind and specific objectives. In RLI Part 1, we're really focusing on you as the Rotarian, and we give insights into leadership. We evaluate, where do you help to evaluate where do you stand in relationship to leadership and leadership skills and where you would like to be. We talk about the various different leadership styles that are available, and we go to on case studies so that you can put them into practice. You'll get insight into our foundation, how to engage members, ethics and vocational service, your Rotary World and what that entails, as well as the various service projects. Next slide, please. In RLI Part 2, we're really focusing on you as a Rotarian and emerging as a leader within your club, not necessarily as a club president. You could be a lane chair. You could be involved in vocational. You might be the individual that has volunteered to seek out opportunities in your community to provide the answers to certain local questions and in issues. And in this way, we talk about collaboration. But in Part 2, we're looking more at focus of your role in the club, which looks at Rotary opportunities, where we say now with our current Rotary International theme, Rotary opens opportunities. We put more emphasis on the team building aspects and how to develop that high performance team within your club and to align yourself with non-Rotarians and those that are friends of Rotary. Also the effective leadership strategies and how to cultivate and utilize that. And we give you a roadmap to be able to do that. Club communication, we find that is vital. There's so many different forms and ways to communicate, but what's the most effective way? I know that in some cases, some of my fellow Rotarians will say, if you need me, call me. They just, that's what the phone is used for. But then now we have all sorts of other ways with text and Instagram and WhatsApps. And, we look to see what is the most effective way to communicate within your club. And then how do we attract new members, attract and retain new members? Next slide, Justin. Thank you. In Part 3, we're looking at the Rotary journey and going forward in the Rotary journey, a more expansive perspective of public imaging and public relations, and it's important to your club and what it will mean for you and your community, building a stronger club, a more vibrant club, if you will, one that's irresistible. Also making a difference in the lives of others and how to do that. Constantly being challenged to make a bigger impact, and the bigger the impact, the more that you're going to be recognized within your community and our community at large as being a very vibrant club, which should attract more members. It's that triology and that wheel in motion, if you will. Rotary is a service to mankind, and when you get that wheel spinning and you combine the synergies of the foundation and what we do to invest and receive the funding to support our projects, as well as the public imaging and public relations, as well as harnessing our membership, as well as reaching out to encourage prospective members to consider joining us in our activities, and perhaps then ultimately at the club level. It would be a situation where we no longer have to ask someone to consider joining us. They'll look through social media and all that you do in public imaging and public relations. They'll be reaching out to you and say, how can I become a member of your club? And then lastly, and probably just as most importantly, the strategic plan, not only looking to see that our goals and our objectives are congruent with your club strategic plan, but also consistent with the Rotary International strategic plan. And we go through that. We'll do that at a later time, but we do that as part of the instruction and curriculum for Rotary Leadership Institute Part 3. Next slide, please. So this is your first RLI graduating class having completed all 3, and you'll see various representation from all over the district. There's Jadine and there's Justin. You've got, I know that Charles isn't on the call today, but he had participated. I know you have several other members. How many members here that are on the Zoom today have also been involved in RLI parts 1, 2, and 3? I know Crystal, I remember that you were in there as well and participating. And now we're offering all of this virtually, but you can see representation from as far south as Brownsville to Corpus, Victoria. We've got Laredo represented in the Mid-Valley as well, Los Fresnos, Harlingen. It just goes on and on. Edinburgh and all different other. Alice is also represented. You can see our district governor nominee, Kent Greer. He's also in the picture, as well as I think it's important to note. You see that Eddie Bartnetsky, there's Kent Greer, Armando Chapa, Ellison Kreider, myself, Debbie Hyde, Maxie Hauser. It's a continuum of the district leadership that has not only realized what the benefit can be for RLI being introduced in the district, but when the district and as district leaders, we say, how can we help to support our clubs and what would be the best way to do this? This is one integral component of that. And realize that RLI is not for district leadership, it's for your club to help new members, there's everybody can actually participate, from new members to board members. It's not necessarily geared strictly to club presidents. We would like to invite road ractors. So if you know of a young person that's willing to attend, it's also geared for road ract, because like our Rotary clubs themselves, road ractors have the same challenges as well as the opportunities to make a difference in their community. And I think they would welcome the opportunity to get such a concentrated amount of information and this hands-on opportunity to engage with fellow Rotarians. Next slide, please. So what are the testimonials? I know, Justin, why don't you give us a quick testimonial on what you thought about it, your experience in Rotary Leadership Institute. Why did you become a faculty member?
Yeah, so aside from the one that we have there on the slide, I think one of the main benefits that I found is that when we were doing it in person, it put us in direct contact with folks from around the district. I might not have otherwise had a close friend in Brownsville and in Laredo and in Victoria that I can call up on a whim for a Rotary need. And now that we're online, we have folks literally around the world that have joined us and that will be joining us in the future. We had someone from Nigeria join or graduate from Part 3 a couple of weeks ago. In our future, we have some faculty offerings, and we're going to have folks from Australia and I think, was it Bangladesh? Andy?
Yes.
So we have folks from all around the world that we are in direct contact with, all thanks to Rotary Leadership Institute. I think we have 6 people on the call with us today that have been through at least RLI Part 1, and 10 of our board members have been through at least RLI Part 1.
I would think if you look at it as a percentage of the number of your members that have attended and completed segments, parts, and or the full course, you'd be right there in one of the top 3, because of your support. We appreciate that. And like I said, we constantly hear it. I feel energized out. I love the camaraderie, the things the takeaways that they've learned. And I think what you get is a better, the members themselves are going to have a takeaway with a better understanding of what is Rotary and what your role should and could be in Rotary. So for example, seeing Charles Clements there attending one of our sessions, and then a new Rotaractor in that same session, and having the opportunity to dialogue and to network between the two was just amazing. So as a faculty member, I'm learning as much each and every time that we conduct a session, because I hear all this feedback and I see Rotarians at work, and it's really, really impressive to see that. And it just, I thrive off the energy, that feed that comes from that collaboration. Next slide.
And so if you were looking for some more testimonials, that Crystal was there, Danny was there.
Oh yeah, Crystal,
Jan.
would you like to share? Would you like to share some of the takeaways? Don't want to put you on the spot. You can pass, but if you decide yes.
I think the biggest thing was, just like Justin said, being able to talk to Rotarians that are in the nearby area, not just far, far away, but having somebody that I can go to Corpus Christi and come see their club was really, really useful. And then just getting to work with them through the different activities really brought you closer in just that one day.
Yes. And as it's been said, and as you've mentioned, with this new platform, with the Zoom platform and migrating everything to an online virtual, literally Rotary knows no boundaries, right? We're no longer confined by geographic area. As a testimony of me being here today, being able to visit you in the short 20 minutes that I have to visit with you. So again, I think there's certain things that are going to be here to stay, and this is going to be one of them. We definitely would like to have face-to-face when that time comes, but there's going to be an opportunity for this online as well, carrying forward in the future. Thank you. Thank you for providing us and sharing with us, Crystal. Anyone else before we move on? Anybody else that would like to provide feedback or share? Great. Then Justin, let's go to the next segment. So as Justin said, the RLI registration is open now. And what I did is we put some dates up here so that you can see what's coming in, depending on if you're just starting out and you want, we do recommend that these parts be taken in in consecutive order, parts 1, then 2, then 3, because they build on each other. The cost is $50 per person. There's a limit, believe it or not, even within the virtual realm, of 20 participants, so that when you're in breakout groups, there's smaller groupings and more comfortable. Gives you an opportunity informally to really get hands-on and provide input, and then see what the takeaways are. All sessions are required. In this RLI realm, we decided to break it up into 2-hour sessions. So you'll have 4 2-hour sessions to complete each part, if that makes sense. Because I know that with the onset of Zoom, it seems like more and more we're just being required to, log on to this meeting for Zoom. We're all becoming zombies, or zombies. It just kind of, I've had calls from in my business from manufacturing reps that I usually only see once a quarter. Now they're giving me a 20-minute heads up. We're going to have a meeting here soon, and here's your meeting number and password. And I'm like, holy mackerel! It's so convenient. It's just so convenient. That's part 1, and it's through September. It shows you going through the 23rd. And generally speaking, 5:30 to 7:30. We try to make that in an hour that it's convenient to everyone. So keep your eyes open for that, and you just register going to LoneStarRLI.com. If you find that the class is full, there's an option there to go on a wait list, so that if there's a cancellation, you'll be requested to come online and join us in that particular session, in that particular part. So keep that in mind as well. Next slide. And this is a recap and summary of RLI Part 2 and what's offered in September and October. And this is being recorded. And of course, all these dates are also denoted in our LoneStarRLI.com under events and calendars. So you'll see that there when you go to whatever date and time is convenient to you.
Yes,
Next session.
Find an event is where those are. It's RLI.
Find an event. There you go.
LoneStarRLI.com. Find an event. Yeah.
Find an event. And these are division sponsored. This is the Lone Star division that's sponsoring this virtual, the capacity and platform for us. And so there is a cost to that because of the cost of the platforms and all that is behind the scenes. But right now, $50, it's across the board throughout the world. That's the cost per part for those that are interested. And in some clubs, they'll pay for, maybe part 1, and then they leave it up to the Rotarian if they're interested in pursuing and going on from there. It may be out of pocket for the Rotarian, but each club does it on their own. And I know our club in Brownsville Sunrise said, hey, look, we're going to cover the cost for those interested in going to RLI because it's that much of they're holding it in that higher regard. Next slide. And this is the additional opportunities to participate in RLI Part 3. If you've already completed 1 and 2, then these are the dates set for RLI Part 3. And again, for those of you that are interested in faculty, there'll be a faculty training as we continue to see the number of Part 3 graduates. Then we decide at that point through the division, and we'll make an offering for faculty. And there's even training beyond the faculty level. Once you're faculty trained, there's an opportunity to go to graduate level courses, and they're in-depth courses, and they'll be structured very, very similar to the RLI sessions that you're going to experience virtually. And I think that'll be where we used to have to wait as a faculty trained. You might have accomplished parts 1, 2, and 3, and you'd have to wait almost 6 months to a year before the next faculty training was offered. And so that there lies another delay, right? If you're trying to move forward. And in our district, since we were starting at grassroots level, our graduating class that you saw having successfully completed parts 1, 2, and 3, we needed each and every one of those members that were interested in becoming faculty trained to be trained so that we could then roll out in district training. And there'll be a point in time after the COVID spread is declined or diminished where we can get back to hands-on, face-to-face, and or each district can also offer the virtual component. And we're prepared to do that. That's one of the things as I started out with this presentation. It's through a lot of the energies and the expertise that was brought forward by our faculty trained members that enabled us to be able to do an online RLI training. So again, kudos to everyone involved. Next slide. So Lone Star Division RLI, they try to reap the benefit of the best practices. We're constantly in check. We do value your input on the surveys, not only evaluating the facilitators themselves, but the content of the course, so that we continually make it dynamic, energetic, and interactive and relevant for you as a participant and attendee to those courses. And at this time, I'd like to just give a special shout out and recognition to your club president, Justin. I don't know if you have it on your person, but I met with Justin on Friday very briefly over there at the Starbucks, and I handed him what I wanted to show is a Paul Harris. He is now going to be recognized as a multiple Paul Harris. I wanted to recognize you, Justin, for all of your effort, all of your ability to support us technically. This has not only enabled us to enhance our offerings and our curriculum to a broad base of Rotarians, like you said, worldwide, but without your help, he's currently not only helping in the RLI realm at the division level, but now he's also providing technical support at the zone level. I wish you had brothers and sisters that had the same skill sets, because if any of you have that technical expertise, we are looking for that at the district level to be able to help continue to sponsor these types of programs and make these offerings more available. But we are needing some more help. I know at the district level, we have 2 technical support groups as well as coordinators, Andy Zamaripas being the other. But I know you guys need some help. So we're looking for hand raisers to give us a shout out or drop me an email or a text at the end of these sessions. And with that being said, Justin, I'm going to turn it back over to you. Congratulations and congratulations on your Paul Harris. I think there's no other way that one Rotarian to another could express their appreciation. And I felt like this is well deserved, and you're making an impact well beyond what you could even dream of with making these impacts. And I think what it did do for us with this virtual platform, there were several districts that were contemplating and considering RLI, but didn't quite venture into those waters. They didn't go to the point where they're saying, hey, we're really going to commit to implementing RLI in our district. But with your help, we've now onboarded 3 more districts. I mean, that's huge. That's a huge impact when you consider all that's going on in this day and time. And it keeps us engaged. It keeps the Rotarians engaged because it's another opportunity to continue to learn and network and position ourselves, posture ourselves, and we can get out and make a bigger impact with hands-on service projects. So thank you again, and thank you all for your time and attention. We look forward to you joining us in the upcoming sessions. So thank you so much.
Well, Governor, thank you so much for being with us here today. I appreciate your inspiring words, and thank you so much for my Paul Harris Fellow +1. I certainly sincerely do appreciate that contribution from you and from Elsa. Thanks so much for doing that. And so he was talking about graduating folks through Part 3. So our division is one of 3 divisions in the world that has been granted a pilot project from RLI International. So we have an international organization. There's another one in Brazil and another one in, I think, India is where the other 2 pilot projects are. Our division is the only one in the entire world that has graduated folks out of Part 3. And that happened a couple of weeks ago. And we are well on our way to do several more of those. And so our division here, with everybody's help here locally, is making history. So thank you, Andy, for all of that.
And thank you all.
And so he brings up some wonderful points. Speaking of zone, if you haven't been through RLI Part 1 to know what zone means, we have a half zone from Texas, and it goes clear up to Ontario, and actually with our paired zone, and we have Zone Institute training starting this week. And I'll be there, and Andy will be there. Several of us will be there. We have trainings on membership, on foundation, on public image, on all sorts of things. For more information and to register, go to zones25B-29.org. It is free, but you must register. And tomorrow is our next installation of Rotary After Dark. And we will, friends, be in person Forgive me, the calendar is wrong. That is my fault. We will be in person. We will be respecting the restaurant guidelines on social distancing and all that. You need not, BYOB, they have bees there. And so do join us tomorrow, 6 p.m. at Braze. We'll be in that very back room. We look forward to that. This Friday is the next installation of Together for Peace lectureship series. The link is in your Zoom or is in your Rotary bulletin from today. Board members, don't forget, next Monday is our next board meeting, and you will get a new email with a link for that. Next Tuesday, begins our next offering of RLI Parts 1 and 2. There's still time, there's still space. Do consider joining us if you have not yet done so. And Saturday, October 3 begins our, so far, a 2-part series on our next offering of district trainings. And so you will see information on that on our website. You'll see information on that from the district website. And please do register, as one registration will be your passport to the entire training. Does anybody else have anything for the good of Rotary today? Seeing none, oops. Seeing none, it is time to go to our weekly Paul Harris drawings. And these, of course, are taken from our weekly participations in our pairing activities. So let's go to the leaderboard and a drum roll, please. And so in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pair 1, Danny and Jan. Congratulations, Danny and Jan. You have been entered into the quarterly Paul Harris drawings. Don't forget, if you play, then you get a chance to win. So look forward to those weekly pairing activities. And now, friends, if you will please join me in the 4-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? We stand adjourned. Adios. Thank you, Governor, for being here. It certainly was
Thank you,
a
Justin.
pleasure.
Looking forward to meeting you all in person soon down the line.
Got it.